What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. I haven't made a sit down video like this in forever, but I'm super excited to make one for you guys today because this has been something that's been brewing in my mind for forever, and I'm excited to do a little mini series about this. And anyways, let's just get started. So for those of you guys who don't know, I graduated college about 3.5 months ago, and I started working about a month ago or so, a month and a half ago or so, and it's been an exciting time. But throughout the end of my undergraduate career and starting my job and kind of the space in between then, I've had a lot of time to reflect, and I think there are 3 prominent overhyping things that we need to just address. Because yes, it's kind of true, but also not true in a lot of cases, and I think we just need to set the record straight for everyone in America to just know and understand. So first and foremost, yes, the tech space is growing vastly amazing. It is literally skyrocketing. There are so many people going into the tech field, whether it's for software development or for product management or UI UX design research, whatever. There's a lot of things in tech, a lot of things to be discovered, even stuff like AI and backend and like all of that stuff, right? So many things to do. But here's the thing, a lot of people think that because the industry is growing so rapidly and there's so many new things that we have to do, especially now in the world of AI technology, and while yes, there's a lot of jobs coming into play, there's still a very big competition to get a job in the tech field. And not even for like actual career jobs for post-grad life, but even for internships. There are so many other applicants, like hundreds of thousands of other applicants all across the world trying to get an internship, trying to get a job. The worst part about all of this is that when you send your resume in, your resume gets fed through basically a machine, and it also gets fed through recruiters. I'm telling you, sometimes recruiters don't know exactly how to pick out candidates to move on to round of interviews and stuff like that. So it's really like a luck of the draw and a luck of knowing connections to get at least somewhere into those actual like technical and interview rounds. At the end of my undergraduate career while also finishing up school, I probably sent about at least a few hundred applications to God knows however many places. Out of those hundreds and hundreds of applications, I only got through the next several rounds of interviews at certain places for about probably I think 4 or 5 of them. And for half of those, I basically was dropped after the technical interview or 1 round of interviews. And it was actually funny because the ones that I progressed more in the round of interviews was ones that I was basically referred to. In general, it's just super hard to even get a chance at doing either a coding assessment interview, a technical interview, a phone interview, anything like that. It is so hard to get one of those. I think we all need to know and understand that getting a job requires a lot of work, and it's not as lucky as you think. And I think that's one of the most overhyping problems about the tech industry, is that everybody thinks that you can get a job really easily and that the tech industry is just so booming that you can job just like that coming out of college. The second thing that I think is overhyped that we need to talk about is automatically making 6 figures coming out of college. And when I mean making 6 figures, I mean having 6 figures as your base salary. And what I mean by base salary is the offer that they give you without any of the other compensation packages that they offer. A base salary, I'm talking about the salary that you get excluding any bonuses that they may offer, any stocks that they may give you, any sign-on bonuses, relocation bonuses, any type of company compensation like things, just things like that. Excluding all of those things, your base salary, when it comes down to it, whether you can negotiate or not, because some companies you can negotiate your base salary, some companies you can't negotiate your base salaries. But whatever the case is, base salary will not always be automatically 6 figures. And I'm saying this because it depends on, first, the company that you work for, and second, office of where you're assigned to work. What I mean by where you're assigned to work is that many companies have offices all across America, all across the country. If you're planning to work somewhere in California and you get a job in California, yeah, your starting salary is probably going to be base salary 6 figs, because the cost of living in California is ridiculously expensive and it's California. But you could get an offer in, let's say, like Chicago in the Midwest, and your starting salary cannot be 6 figures. Be probably most likely in the high 5 figures, so probably around at least 80K, probably at least like 95K, that kind of tier. But it's not going to be 6 figures as your base salary. And the same thing with, like, I don't know how it is in the East Coast specifically, because I know East Coast is kind of the same, or some places have higher taxes, higher cost of living, and all this stuff. And even a lot of, there's new tech kind of hubs kind of gaining traction in like Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, even in Texas. There's a lot of tech in a lot of different places and a lot of offices. So it's just not fair to tell everyone and have everyone's hopes and dreams and expectations to be that they're going to get a base salary of 6 figures coming out of college. But in general, it's all about where you're basically assigned to work. So if the place that you're currently living in is Washington, like Seattle, Washington, and technically the office that you're assigned to work in is Colorado. Well, the cost of living in Colorado and just life in Colorado in general is probably way less than what it is in Seattle, Washington. So you're probably not going to get as good of a pay than you think you would. And that's just based on where you're working. I know for sure a lot of the tech jobs that are in Texas, in I think Chicago, in Atlanta, Georgia for sure, those salaries, starting salaries, like again, based on just coming out of college, not 6 figs. 5 figs, but not 6 figures. Now everything added up together might probably be 6 figures. But that's not always the case. And so I think that we really need to understand that like a salary of 6 figures coming out of college is doable in some places and certain companies. But again, there's a lot of different variables that go into it. And we need to think about that before we overhype kids too much and then make them kind of sad that they didn't get 6 figures coming out of college. The third most important thing that I think is a little bit too overhyped is the whole idea of perks, company perks. I mean, the situation is different now because of COVID and all of that stuff, and like people are still trying to get into this whole work remotely, work hybrid, work in the office type of thing. But I've seen a lot of TikToks. One in particular, I saw a TikTok about how this person, I guess they were like in marketing or whatever, but nonetheless, they work for Netflix and they went into the office and they were showing like their day in the life of the office, and it showed them how they had food catered and it was free for them, how there was multiple different big lounging areas to do work in and to relax. Lots of different amenities inside the building. And I'm not saying that those perks aren't there for a lot of different companies, but it's based on where the building is located. I've seen offices that are basically just a massive big chunk of cubicles with a few rooms here and there of like really nice like big kitchens and fun play. But I've also seen offices that are really big that have like these cool like rooms built up for like their software and the manufacturing thing. I've seen buildings that have all these like crazy like perk rooms, like I mentioned, like how Netflix does. And I think we all need to realize that like at certain offices and obviously headquarter locations will most likely be a little bit more luxurious like that. But it's not the case in a lot of like different offices. And also the fact that not every company pays for catered food or just free lunch in general. A lot more prominent before COVID happened, but even then, like I knew that not all companies had like an everyday type of like free lunch thing or whatever. Like most companies had it probably about like once a week, once every few weeks, or like once a month type of thing. I think because of TikTok and all of this media influence these days, a lot of people are like, yeah, like working in the office would be so much fun, or like even seeing the office would be so much fun, which like it can be, because obviously like going to the office is about building connections, seeing your place, being familiar with it, and like having fun and like knowing that. I think like we see too many of these videos based on probably places of headquarters, like yeah, like it's so bougie and luxurious and like this is how my office life is and it's great and it's amazing, and then everybody thinks, oh, like I should work for a company like that because like it's all like I'm also going to be able to enjoy all these great amenities and like life is gonna be great. And like, do you not see like they have like bouncy balls to like sit on while they're doing work, or like creative flow, like all this stuff. Companies put those there mainly in their headquarters to provide their workers with a sense of stress-free environment, because they know that the job is probably stressful as it is. Don't be too disappointed if you go into an office and you're like, oh, it's just a bunch of like cubicles or cubicle like structure. But not every company and not every office space is going to have that big awesome perk that you see shown around of like Apple and Google and Netflix. Those are the three for sure that I know. Like I've seen lots of videos about the headquarters and about like a lot of their office spaces in general. But again, every office is different, every company is different. How they build their offices at each different location is also different based on the land size and how many people they project to work in there and all of that stuff. Yeah, those were the big three things that I think are a little bit too overhyped to college students coming out of college and getting a job in the tech field. Again, most of it is very circumstantial to where you're working, the company, and a whole bunch of other stuff. These are the things that I think that we need to start being a little bit more cautious of, because there are just a lot of people going to tech from boot camps, from just self-starting certificates and stuff, and actual like bachelor, master degrees like I did and a lot of my friends are. We've all had the same struggles, and I know it's not just my friends in my specific college, but my friends in other different colleges as well. We've all kind of had the same problems, and we all have talked about this, and we all understand that, like, yeah, these are the things that we're expecting, but they don't always fall through. These things might happen at the places you go to, but it also might not happen. And, let's be realistic, and let's stop falsely hoping to everyone that you're going to get a job automatically. You're gonna make 6 figures automatically, and you're going to if and when you go into the office, start having all these amazing perks in office life. I sound so bitter right now, but I truly am not. Like, I love the place that I work at. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified for the next time I post videos and the next time I post a video about this series. Again, I love to talk more about the tech industry and the ins and outs, things I've learned through my undergrad, things that I'm learning as my first post-college role in my actual career. A lot of things to share, a lot of things to talk about, and I'm very excited to continue make videos like this and to give a series like this because I think it's very helpful. With that said, I love everyone.